Right, ladies and gentlemen, this is a rather compelling 1929 book on Isadora Duncan's Russian days, about the great inventor of her own dance style, choreographer, dancer herself, Isadora Duncan, and the years she spent in France, and sort of Russian dance is the theme of the book as well. Decentish cover, a bit of shelfware, slightly grubby, but the binding is tight, the contents are clean, and the book was published in 1929, which I think is the year of her death or shortly afterwards. We dedicate this book to the memory of Isadora Duncan and to the memory of her spiritual sisters Ellen Terry and Eleonora Duse. And it's an account of her life written from a sort of intimate point of view by, I think, a sort of a member of her family, Irma Duncan, and it's illustrated. There are some pictures in the text, not wildly many pictures, but it gives an account of her life, lots of dialogue, lots of descriptions of occasions, intimate occasions, dinners, her daily life, her dancing, her clothes, her finances. It's a very sort of chatty and intimate account of her private life. And the most tragic bit is the famous death. I've never actually seen a close description of her death, when of course she strangled with her shawl, caught in the wheels of the car. And this book was written by Irma Duncan, I think was there at the time, and it describes her with various scarves that day, but she put a particularly long one on to leave the house. And it talks about here the famous, she got into an open-top sports car with a friend driving her, and there's a description here which I will read. It says, as the car started, Isadora was seen to throw the long fringed end of her shawl over her left shoulder. The car darted forward at full speed, and the shawl seemed to trail on the ground beside the wheel. Mary Desty screamed, "Ton châle, Isadora, ramasse ton châle." The car stopped. The watchers thought it was to allow Isadora to pick up the end of her shawl. They walked towards it and saw that Isadora's head had fallen forward. They ran. The driver was out of the car gesticulating, howling in Italian, "I've killed the Madonna! I've killed the Madonna!" The fringes of the silk shawl and part of the shawl itself are tightly wound round the axle of the wire wheel. And it goes on to say that she'd crushed her carotid artery and had died from that hideous accident. There it is, 1929, Isadora Duncan's Russian days, her life in France and her Russian connections. Thanks very much. Bye.